If you're in another province or state or wherever you are, that's in the afternoon now, then good afternoon. But it's morning here in Alberta. So good morning and welcome. I'm just stopping in to have a little conversation. Um, I'm actually getting ready to record something, my little notes, but I thought I would stop in, and I'm just trying to see if I'm actually in the right spot. Yes. There I am. Okay. There we go. So I know I'm on Facebook, so I'm just trying to make sure that I'm actually um, on YouTube as well. So if there's anyone here that's watching on YouTube, if you could please let me know that it's actually up on YouTube. That would be great. I'll move my notes over there for now. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So nice to see everyone. We're just giving a moment. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. God. Good morning, Shiva. Okay. I am. Okay, there is some people in here now. So, good morning, Kelly and Daly. Good morning. D-Law. Good morning, Donna. Hi. Okay. Oh, hi, Carmilla. Yes, I thought yesterday was actually Friday. My husband left to go back to work, and I thought yesterday was Friday, and it was like mid-afternoon before I realized it wasn't Friday, and that I still had some clients in the afternoon that I had booked, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm still actually working. I don't normally take clients on Fridays. This is a record day for me, so I decided my first recording would actually be in here this morning. So I do want to do something a little bit different this morning. And I want to the reason why I was waiting for some people to come in, because I want to choose somebody that I'm actually going to give a full card, 3-card reading to. And so I don't know who it's going to be yet, but I want to choose that I'm going to do a 3-card reading. So I'm going to wait for a few more people to come in, or we have a few more people coming in. But I am going to choose someone for a 3-card reading that I'm going to give an actual full 3-card reading to on here. So we'll let some people come in. So if you're here and you're just watching and you would like to be one of those people who would like to receive a 3-card reading, the possibility of somebody getting a 3-card reading from me, then you have to comment. You have to actually be here. So so I am going to start with I'll start with a general card for everyone this morning and just see what for the collective energy. I am getting ready to record the weekend's energy. We have just come through the new moon. So who is feeling this new moon energy? Who has been feeling this energy in some way? Have you been feeling like you don't have the energy to do things? And so you don't have the energy to do things, that you feel like you're tired. Have you felt like things are really slow? Do you feel cranky? What were you feeling in the last few days that you thought, oh, so many people just say, oh, I'm just so lazy. I feel so unmotivated. And it's not you, it's actually the energy. Tina, you feel so heavy. Yes, exactly. And that's exactly what it feels like. It feels heavy. There was this real heaviness in it, and it's still kind of here a little bit. I can barely lift my limbs. That's what it feels like. And I don't nap during the day, but I have been like napping like crazy. Now, I do teach a big class on Wednesday nights, and it's in the soul retrieval work that I do. And we were way out there on Wednesday night, but it hit like that next day, which was the night of the new moon, right? But it's been crazy. Expression of truth with passion, but very tired. Yeah, right. It's like, I know I blurted out a truth the other day that it was just like, oh, did I say that? And when I said it, it just kind of, and it was in my personal life, not in work, but it was just like, I went to share something. My husband asked me, I said something to my husband, and then he said, and he responded with, now what? And as soon as he said, now what? It was like it triggered something in me. And I'm just like, never mind. That's condescending. You don't even want to know. You don't even want to hear it. And he just sat back in his chair and he looked at me like I had 10 heads because I don't speak that way. And yeah, and it was like, that's the moon energy, but it was a truth. It was definitely a truth. I really felt that way. Kelly, I experienced a major loss of my dad just past Monday. Oh, I'm feeling that as well. Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss of your dad. That's definitely, yeah, that's hard, and it just puts us in such a, you're just in like survival mode, right? You just got to hit that survival mode. Right out, but tired. Crystal, frustrated. Yes. Donna, feeling tired, and I think it's the weather. So it's the energetic weather. It's the, when I call it, because I call them energy updates. They're energy forecast readings for a reading, because it's the energy that's behind. So even the influence of the weather, I can feel that weather coming on, and I can feel storms. I can feel something erupting, earthquakes, like you just feel that things coming on. And so sometimes we always blame it on the weather. The weather's our easy one to blame it on, but it's something that's happening often in the collective energy. It's in the resonant sounds, it's light coming in or the lack of light coming in. There's just so many things. Hello, everyone else is joining. While you're driving. Okay, don't take your eyes off the road, Rihanna. All right. And I did put up so October's energy update is on Facebook, just so you know. So I am choosing someone this morning for a full 3 card reading. Now, whether or not I'll choose other people, we'll see how long this goes. But I am choosing someone for a 3 card reading. And so let's see. Oh God, we got to get rid of. I think we just had a bot. So I've had like this morning. Oh God, this morning I had a notification that someone had shared something, but the name didn't look right. I knew instantly. I always know instantly, and I went to investigate, and sure enough, it was a made up name, and it was taking my post and sharing it over and putting all kinds of unkind words about me on there. And instantly I just banned and returned to sender, because there is so much of that dark energy out there right now. And it's like, just return to sender, kind of an F you, a kiss my ass kind of energy, like just go away. I'm so done with those kind of energies and those bots and those that are just made up pages, just filling full of negative comments. It's nasty. So I'm deleting them as they go. and returning to sender. All that sends out any negativity, just return it back to sender. Return it back to sender. Take it. Let it come back to you, because it's more to do with them than it's to do with us. All right. So hello, everyone. Hello. Yes, daily. There sure is a lot of dark energy out there. There is. As my husband is sending me. My husband is sending me stuff from the storm that hit in the US, and he is so like, there's just so much going on with all of the storm stuff. And he sent me a message this morning about a little boy who was lost in the flood in the US. And And there was an interview that his mom was doing, and how he was calling out to Jesus, and how he was he became her superhero, and all he ever wanted to be in his life was to be a superhero. And he lost his life in the flood. And she's on the news, and he's sending me this morning, and it's just like I feel the floodgate of tears coming in. There's just a lot that's happening. There's a lot, but we have to be the light, right? Even though there's darkness, if we become dark, if we let ourselves get lost in these things that happen, then we lose the light. And we have to be the light. Sometimes someone has to be the strength to hold and support when other things are happening, and we have to be that light. Yeah, you had 2 scammers. Yeah, it is today. It is activated like crazy out there today, MJ. So yeah, right. Oh, I just finished all my Palo. I just finished with my last. I got to go today and actually search for more Palo Santo. That's my last little piece that I've been hanging on to, and I literally was using this morning, like burning my fingers. So I have to go into Red Deer because there is a place that carries it where whatever we buy, we have to leave an offering. So I have to go leave my offering for buying it. And my candles are all right. My candles are always lit. My incense I can only burn by a window because Sydney is very, very allergic to incense, and a lot of animals may be. It causes them breathing issues. So I have to be careful with incense and lighting any aromatherapy, lighting certain candles. So I buy a lot of my candles from my friend at Treesaurus and Drumheller, and I can burn those candles. Yeah, I know, shivers. I know, that's what I felt like this morning too. Go check it out. Go read about this little boy. It is just incredible. Okay, so I'm choosing one person. Here we go. So if you want to be the person to receive a 3-card reading right here, right now, let me know. And I will choose somebody. Okay. I am going with Eva would love it. Let's see. Here's my other thing. I was just going to say you can come up on live, but that is going to take too much time. So I have 2 people that are coming up for me. I'm listening to guides here. Tina, are you still here? Tina Jensen. Are you still here, Tina? Tina Jensen. Stay with me, everyone. You don't know what's going to come after this. Tina Jensen. Remember, whatever readings I do, if they resonate with you as well, then that message could also be for you. You're there. Okay. I really feel like this is you that I have to start with. So I'm starting with you, and I'm going to start with 3 cards that I'm going to choose for you and give you this reading that's coming up. So now I'm not just using my deck. I'm actually going to use 3 decks. So I'm going to use the Medicine Woman. I love this deck. Catherine Millard. Now, I usually do this as a 5-card. I use this in a healing when I'm doing healing circles, but I am just going to choose a card from here for you. And then I'm going to use my Everyday Goddess Oracle cards, of course. And I'm also going to use the Lantern Oracle. The Lantern Oracle. Love this deck as well. And this came from Tree Course as well. As where I bought them in Drumheller. They also have an online business as well. It's my friend Lindsay and Dee who own it. Okay, so 3 card reading for Tina. Now, remember, if it connects to you and you feel it, then there's something in the message that's also for you. October's energy update, the full month one, is up and on YouTube. You can go listen to that. Also, the new moon, which is we're still feeling the effects of it, that is also up. So, what is it today? What is it today that Tina needs to know? Or what is it that's coming up for Tina? Let's see what's rising for Tina. Oh, Tina. So the card that I pulled is a weeping wound. You are not your wounds. You are not your wounds. This is the card that came out first. You are not your wounds. So you're not your past. You're not the things that have not gone right in your life. You're not the hurts. You're not the pain. They are not your identity. They're not who you are. So which means, you're not your anger. You're not your anger. You're not your frustration. You're not your fears. You're not any of those things. But they become a part of our identity when we spend so much time reminiscing or putting ourselves in protection, putting ourselves in I'm strong, I'm independent, I don't need nobody, F that, I can do it on my own. And we create a narrative. So we always create this person, this avatar that we're walking as is what we present to the world. The other thing that we have is masking. Like, so when we mask ourselves, when we put on the face to go to certain places or to be around certain people, or we deny ourselves the opportunity to really listen to what it is that our heart is telling us or what it is that our intuition is telling us, something that is greater. But it's like, we don't have to be strong. There's a key to the key is being vulnerable, and being vulnerable also means being honest and being honest with ourselves. So it's what's standing in your way? What is standing in your way? Often the only big thing standing in our way is ourselves. So I'm going with mine. See, feed the light. Feed the light. This is Rose. Rose is probably one of my favorite cards in the deck. And why is Rose one of my favorite cards in the deck? Because Rose she's in everything. Rose is in everything. Rose is in everything that I create. And Rose is the character in my book, Wine and Chips. And my book, Wine and Chips, is based around that fact of how ludicrous, how it is. It's the face of our crazy. It's the face of our illusions. It's the face of the stories that we tell ourselves. It's the face that we live in that we keep living in when we're disassociated, when we can't really truly, it's hard to face and see those parts of ourselves. And so Rose is, if we feed our crazy, what happens if we feed our crazy? What happens if we feed our anger? What happens if we feed that part of ourselves? What if we become the storm? What's wrong with becoming the storm? Tina, what's wrong with becoming a storm? What's wrong with getting angry? What's wrong with letting that wild woman out, that sense of the aggression sometimes that we have to fight for what we believe in, or to fight for what we want, instead of just saying, oh, it'll just come. Sometimes it's not going to just come. Sometimes we have to really truly stand up to our own wound, stand up to our hurt, and just say, like, no way, it's been wild, right? Okay, because I'm like, yeah, I feel like it's like, let the wild out. The craziest parts of ourselves. If we mask over the crazy, then we don't let our crazy out. And sometimes our crazy holds the deepest of truths for us. So in Wine and Chips, that's the character. Rose is she's the ego of myself. She is the parts of myself that I would present, or I would say, and that be like the essence of, because you're trying to blend into this world. You're trying to be something. We're hoping to be loved. We're hoping to be liked. We're hoping for all those things. And what they're saying, sometimes you got to feed that version of yourself that was that searching for something. You got to sit with her, nurture that. And it's in the mother energy. So what do we need to nurture, right? We need to nurture the hurt that is behind the anger, which is often sadness. And when we can finally find the sadness, turns to anger, anger turns to resentment, and then it is walking around angry, pissed off, and being, walking around in that hurt. And so the pissed off energy is the energy that we then internalize. You are internalizing something that you need to bring external so that the wounds can actually heal, instead of continually just being surfaced and just putting like a band-aid on it and surface healing it. If it only heals on the surface, it will never heal deep. And so the depth of that wound will always be what holds the deepest hurt. And for some reason, it'll keep coming up. You'll find yourself using language. You'll find yourself using words that are just tied to the hurt and tied to the pain. And when you can finally release that, that's where emotional intelligence comes in. That's when we begin to grow. That's when we begin to evolve. So what do we need to feed? What is it that needs to be fed right now for you? And what is it that we fear feeding, right? What is it we sometimes fear feeding? So the medicine. What is the medicine? What is the medicine? Let's see. Ha. I love these. The medicine is your intuition. The medicine is always comes back to us, right? That is the key to medicine. No medicine works unless we allow things to work for us and through us. Whatever we take, if we tell ourselves it's not going to work, if we tell ourselves we can't trust ourselves, if we tell ourselves any of those stories, nothing will work. It requires us to have faith. It requires us to say, this is going to work. Because if we tell ourselves it's not, there will always be something that is wrong, right? And so I remember when I was going for my back surgery, and people say, oh, well, did you do your research? Did you look at what could go wrong? There's all these side effects, all these things. And I said, what if everything goes fucking right? What if this one choice is the thing that gives me a turnaround in my life? Will there be side effects? Yes. Will there still be pain? Yes. Will there still be other things? Yes. But my faith is in trusting that my intuition told me to have that surgery. And so I would never look up all the things that could go wrong. I believed in all the things that was possible on the other side. Why? Because the intuition told me. And so because my intuition told me, my intuition is what I trust. And that's why I'm going to Newfoundland. That's why I'm doing 6 shows in Newfoundland, because my intuition told me to, right? Because there's something that is speaking to us. A cat. A prime example is the energy of the cat. Tina, you have to become the cat. You have to become the energy of the cat. And I mean, like, as a spirit guide, let the energy of the cat guide you. A cat jumps and it leaps and why does it land safely on its legs? Is because it relaxes into the fall. Because it relaxes into the fall. Sometimes we have to relax into our hurts, into our frustrations, into our pains, into our wounds. Sometimes we have to relax into it and let the pieces fall where they may, and know that sometimes we just have to, if we relax into it, if we let ourselves be, is that we know things are going to happen. Just, your cat just jumped on the screen door. See? Right? And so this cat is speaking to us. And so I'm going to read the bottom. Intuition is the messenger of your destiny. Follow it, right? You have to follow that intuition. Even if it feels like it is crazy, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone else, because the problem sometimes is that you're trying to make things make sense so that other people can understand it or understand you. And there is nothing any more frustrating than denying our intuition. And that's what keeps the wounds open, is that those wounds are open because you always often, what they're telling me is you always or often look to somebody else, what somebody else is going to think, what somebody else is going to believe, and you're not trusting you. You're not trusting something inside of yourself. And so then you're that little hurt self, that little sad self that's inside, she goes, here we go once again. Once again, she's not listening to me. Once again, she's not listening. Once again, once again, I knew she didn't listen. And that's the other version of you, right? And so we're disconnected from ourselves because we're looking for something outside of ourselves. Now, she is a number one card. So you are in a stage of new beginnings. Tina, I don't know what you got going on, but I just know that you have a stage of new beginnings. And when we just jump up from something, we don't give ourselves time to gain the wisdom. If you just get up and you're just like, what I'm going to do now is going to be out of vengeance. And if we do things out of vengeance, or we do things out from the hurt or the anger, oh, you're here to listen to the hurt and the anger. You're here to give it a voice, but not to respond. It's what's behind it. What's behind all of that? And so if you go back then and you look at what's behind it, you look at that version of yourself that just says, man, you know, I just always knew that, or I just always know that I am that person. I have that. I want that. I want to be that. And so sometimes you got to follow your wants, right? And those wants are so big. And so in Wine and Chips and Rose, so that painting behind you, behind me, that's Rose. This is Rose in the cards. This red one right here is Rose, which I'm going to take off the wall and show you, because she's also going to be a card. So these are all eventually cards. This is Rose, right? So this becomes Rose. How are these cards all Rose? Is because these cards are from a series that I have now done the copyright on called Paint Me Beautiful. And it's a whole series of Paint Me Beautiful. You have to keep drawing, sketching, writing about yourself, and pick out all the things of where you pick on yourself, or you discount yourself, or you bring yourself down, or you neglect to see your good qualities, until you can finally see the beautiful you. And so the most beautiful you is often in sometimes having to tell someone to kiss your ass, let someone see the back of your head as you're walking away. That was in my reel this week, because I just finished painting the last card to go with this one, with this Paint Me Beautiful. And it's a kiss my ass card. It's the back of my head. Sometimes all people deserve to see is the back of your head as you're walking away from whatever it is, whether it's people who don't believe in you, whether it's all the doubt that comes in, and just learning to really, truly trust. Live as the cat. The cat just trusts. She just knows. And the cat has an undeniable confidence about her place of where she belongs. Like when our new cat Phoebe came into the house, she didn't doubt whether or not she belonged. She knew where she belonged, and she took over. She took over, and she had this power, and I knew she was here to teach me something. So it's learning. Our humility is not the place where our shame exists. Our humility in our lives is the place of where wisdom exists. And if we let ourselves stay in our humility long enough, that's where we find our wisdom. It's not about any mistakes we make or any choices we make. It's about what we learn from the experience, what we learn from those experiences, what we take from those experiences. And sometimes we need those experiences in our lives that feel like, why would I have done that? It's because your soul, you needed that experience so that you could find you, so that you could find the fight for you, so that you could become that superhero in your life, and so that you could redefine that self. And so in the book, as Rose becomes this grape with these legs, is that we create these avatars. And so when we come out of an experience, we quickly jump into creating another character. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be independent. And I'm like, why do you need a character? Why do we need another character? Why do we not need to create another character for another story? How about we get all the way back to the truth? Let's get to the truth and get radically honest with ourselves. Why do I feel like I need to create this avatar, this toughness? Because it's going to attract all the same kind of energy that you previously attracted, because it's not authentic. It is not your truth. And so buried deep inside of there is a deep honesty, a deep truth that comes once you start to feed your light. And sometimes feeding our light is not in building ourselves up on weak foundations, on false confidence again. It's about breaking down the false confidence. It's about breaking it down until we can get to the place of recognizing, what is this within me? So for myself and all of these paintings, what I discovered, it wasn't a lack of confidence. It wasn't a lack of self-esteem. It was a lack of self-consciousness. It was a low self-conscious. I was so self-conscious that I was looking over my shoulder. I was always wondering if I was making someone else happy, if I was pleasing somebody else, if it was going to make somebody else feel good, if my words were going to hurt, I wouldn't say them, but yet I would let them hurt myself, right? And so sometimes you got to really look at what it is, because if you can't name it, you can't label it, you cannot heal it. So you got to find the right words, the right language to know that what it is that I am healing, and what it is that I am searching for, and what is the real deep truth, right? So you can label a dozen things and you'll find pieces, but you'll have this return until you can get to the root of the truth. What is the deep rooted truth? We pull out that root, and when you can pull out that unhealthy root, and then you can let let light plant the roots that come with the new seeds. And so I feel like it's like you're really at this pivotal point in life of really having to get to that exact source of the pain and be able to move beyond that. That's what I got for you. So Tina, I hope in some way that helps you. And thank you for opening up, and thank you for going there with me today and allowing me to give you this reading. Thank you so much. And so let's see. I'm going to choose one more. I said I had two for sure, but you're welcome, Tina. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So let's see. I got to ask this first while I'm thinking about who's coming. Is there anyone here? Is there anyone here who's like ever been to my workshops, ever taken my online classes, been to my in-person workshops? Have you ever been to any of my work that I do in coaching, healing, consulting, those type of things? Have you ever attended one? Have a beautiful day at work, Tina. And don't take on anyone else's energy today. Swoop it off. Wish it off. Yes, so Verna has. So there's so many. There's one thing about me that most people it can feel very confusing, is because I do so many things. I cannot be branded. I'm not just one thing. I'm a collective energy of everything. And so that's why when people see me here, is that, yes, I'm a medium. Yes, I'm a psychic medium. Yes, I do all of that work. Yes, I'm a Reiki master teacher. I'm a mystic. I'm a writer. I'm an author. I'm a life coach. I work in trauma, emotional and emotional intelligence, so self-actualization, spiritual intelligence, metaphysical teachings. I teach in everything. And so yes, with the Fae and other mystic course, yes. And so I teach a lot of the mystical courses about the middle world. I'm also indigenous, so I am Mi'kmaq, and from Newfoundland. And so I blend in all of the things, and group readings. Yes, the group readings. I do the group readings. So people always say, it's like, oh, well, you're this or you're that. And it's like, no, I'm not. So I always suggest, if you're wondering what it is that I do, is go take some of the other training, or go listen to some of the YouTube videos, or book yourself a session. My sessions, you never know what's coming. You never know what's happening in a session. You never know what's coming in a teaching. I'm teaching a class in Newfoundland in between the mediumships. I'm teaching a class of women's empowerment in Newfoundland, in Grand Falls. And why did I throw that in there? Because that's for the other part of me. It's because I don't just stay in that energy. There's something that is so beautiful about being able to allow yourself to be all of who you are. instead of feeling like you have to put yourself in another box, right? I love to paint. I'm a painter. So what else do you do? That's what how often are you chasing a purpose? How many people try to chase a purpose, or they try chasing to be one thing? Like, I'm just going to be this. This is what I want to do. This is, and so my big thing when people say, they want to do something? I'm like, why do you want to do that? Why is it that you want that? And often people say, oh, because I love to help people. And I'm like, do you love to help people? Or is that what you've always been told, that that people tell you all their problems? People come to you with all their problems. If people come to you with all your problems, what does it do to you? What do you feel from that? Maybe this is the farthest place from where you want to go. Maybe there's more to your story. And maybe your story of you, maybe you're bigger and brighter than you could ever imagine. Maybe there's something inside of you that you don't even know exists yet. And so there's so much to be discovered. And sometimes we're afraid to discover those parts of ourselves. And sometimes we're afraid to go to the places where other people say, well, that's ridiculous. And how many people have stole your joy? How many times have you wanted to do something or try something, and then somebody else says, well, that's ridiculous. That's stupid. Why would you want to do that? Or you're too old for that. Or girls don't do that. Or that's evil. Or that's dark. Or that's bad. Do you know how much conditioning we have? We have so much conditioning. And that's why I used to. So when I said in Tina's reading that the conscientious, right? That self-conscious, that I was very self-conscious, is because there was so much fear based around whether or not it would be right, whether or not it would hurt somebody's feelings, whether or not it was good or bad, right? There was some deep judgments inside of myself of where I belonged, right down to my indigenous culture. I would not even mention my indigenous culture, because God forbid if I would offend somebody who may have been more indigenous than me, right? And I'm like, that's bullshit. And so I literally would pull out my treaty card and say, look, I'm a treaty. Like, and it was like, and then the government ripped apart and took away my treaty card, because I couldn't prove that I lived the Indian way and I moved away from my province. So there was some underhanded garbage that went on between bands and the government, and a whole bunch of us lost our treaty card. It sank me to the ground. Like, it was bad. And I'm like, when you start to say, kiss my ass, F off, I don't care what you think, and you start to live your life for you, shit starts to change and stuff starts to really go a different way. And so I don't know who needs to hear that today, but I feel like somebody needs to hear that, because the world, you're always going to be, somebody's always creating some sort of preconceived conception of who they think you are. There's always going to be some sort of judgment of what you are. And that always will be there. Always. You'll never be not good enough for somebody. You'll always be evil to somebody. You'll always be an enemy to somebody. There's always going to be somebody. And so I was on a mission to make sure that in my light is that I could be as liked and loved. And if somebody hurt me, I would be the first person to apologize to them for hurting me. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? What did I do to make them that way? No, some people are just miserable. And some people are envious and jealous, and it's on such an unconscious level that sometimes you can't see it, and sometimes it's so deep. But how you can see it is the smirk on their face, the lack of connecting to you, like all these different little signs that show up. So I don't know who needed that message, but there you go. Rihanna, I do lots of things too that are just me. Things just happen. I can't put a label on me though, right? Exactly. You just can't. You can't label that. It feels like it's an impossible thing to do. Okay. And when you start talking about that stuff, it's amazing how people stop being interested. People stop being interested. The moment I'll say, who wants a card, everybody's interested again. Because, and why? And it's not personal. It's not towards me. It's because it feels like, well, that's not for me. I don't need to listen to that. But if you really look at life and you begin to do, and I'm recording after this, I'm recording the 5 things I've learned on my healing journey and my awakening journey. And that's one of them. That's one of them of what I've really learned. And that if you keep trying to live up to the legacy of the version of you of the past, you're always going to be living in somebody else's story, and you're never going to be creating your legacy or your truth, right? So, yeah. Donna Perry Martin, are you still here? Donna Perry Martin. That's why I listen, because there's always something in each reading or video you do that resonates tenfold with me. Yes, it's because it is the medicine, right? There is medicine in the speaking, because I'm channeling through these messages. These messages are coming from outside of me. Dana, a lot of people actually turn my stomach. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh, and Donna is there. Okay. Donna, I'm going to choose you. You're being chosen. Now, I'm going to go to the land. Oh, Dana. Oh my God, that just made me just chuckle. Dana, you don't wear no mask. You definitely needed this today, Beth. Good. Okay, let's see. Cards. Yeah, it's amazing. So this was in my, and so it was actually in the new moon message about how I seen an old radio, an old style radio, and all it had was a volume and a channel, right? And we tune people out. And my granddaughter kept saying to me on the weekend, Nana, Haley is tuning me out. And that's her younger sister. She's like, she's not listening to me. She's tuning me out. I'm trying to help her. And she's not listening. I said, maybe she's tuning you out on purpose. She says, why would she do that to me? I'm always just trying to help her. And I said, maybe she doesn't need your help. Maybe she would like for you to listen to her today. Maybe you need to turn the channel and tune into listening to your sister instead of your sister having to listen to you. And she's like, she didn't like that. She didn't like that because she wants to be the boss. She's the oldest sister. Donna's one of my best friends. Oh, yay. Okay, Donna. Let's see. My ears start to ring, Donna, as soon as I pulled your name. Oh, I pulled the confusion card. And see her little light? So you do have things around you, Donna, of where there's confusion between what other people tell you and what you believe. What you think, what you feel, what your intuition is telling you, what your gut is telling you, but then what other people step in. And when other people's opinions come in, you doubt yourself. You start to second guess yourself. You start to second guess what you like, what you want. You start to go into doubt. And then you often will turn away from what you want or what you want to do because you get caught up. And so there is some deep confusion. Uh, may as well be honest. Yes, right? And so sometimes when we're growing and when we're developing opening up new parts for ourselves, other people are not going to like it. So whenever you start to say, I don't know if I really like this. I don't really enjoy this anymore. And they're like, but we've done this forever. This is what we've always done. We've always done this on this date. We've always been this way on this date. And you may be saying, well, I don't want to be that way. I don't want to do that. It don't feel right to you anymore. So there's some things in your life, Donna, that just don't feel like it brings you joy anymore. You just don't want to do it. You just don't want to be a part of that. And it's just like, why are you doing it? Why not just be, like Dana said, just be freaking honest. Be honest and just say, I'm not interested. I don't care anymore. It got nothing to do with me. I don't want to be there. And you turn against, so that instinctual version of yourself, that instinctual self is telling you something, that gut is telling you something, but then it's like, I just go back. And then we wonder why we're tired, why we hurt, why we have pain in our body, why we feel like we have anxiety. Is because you have this anxiousness, because there is something that is urging, that this urge, this yearning to go forward, to move forward, to do something different. And that's what's calling you, right? It's just like, yep, yeah, makes sense, right? And I'm like, Oh, you're just so tired of it. And that's your soul is on a soul level, on a spirit level, it's saying, I'm just so tired of this. I'm so over you. I'm so over you giving in to everyone. I'm so over you doubting yourself. I'm so over this. And it's like, and it just causes such mass confusion inside of yourself. And it's just like, this is not for me. So it is time for you, forever golden Davina. It's time for you to reveal to yourself your truth. And how does that truth come up? Speak up for yourself. Be your own advocate. Be your own voice. I might not get it right. I might even make a stupid mistake, but it's going to be my mistake, right? It might be a totally wrong direction. Who cares? Who cares? It's your life. Whatever it is, it could be stupid, it can be dumb to other people, but if it's been something that's been calling out to you, you got to do it. You got to step into it. You got to let it be a part of you because it is your innate culture. It's been cultivated in you on a soul level before you ever arrived. It's not about chasing purposes. It's about living your divine purpose. And your divine purpose is to be able to find that voice to believe in you more than you believe in other people. Because your faith has been in other people. It's been based around fear for so long that you forget to be you. And you have to become that best version of yourself. And to be that means that you have to let yourself rise up. And so there is this calling inside of you that's just saying, when can I just do what I want to do? When do I just get to be me? When is there time for me? And so you got to become available. I'm like, this goes a long way back, Donna. A long way back. And this is about healing the family lines. So there's a lot of there's a lot of old beliefs in you that are outdated. And they've traveled long and far enough that now it's time to eradicate by pulling up those roots. It is healing the family line, right? It's like, just because it was there for years doesn't mean it has to stay. I'll see Donna in Gander. Oh, yay. Nice. I get to actually meet you in person. Oh my God, yay. I love it. So free yourself from secrets, Donna. There's a lot of little secrets, a lot of little things. I feel like you've been like a dumping ground for everyone's secrets. And so free yourself from secrets, discover the hidden treasures, right? There's a lot of treasures to your heritage, to who you are, to the family line. But there's also a lot of secrets. There's also a lot of old beliefs, a lot of outdated information that is swirling around your head and in your heart. And it's like, do I believe that? Is that my life? It's like when a family breaks apart because Uncle Joe got into a fight with Aunt Mary, and now no one from Uncle Joe's family is allowed to speak to Aunt Mary's family because they're all assholes and they're all idiots, and Aunt Mary's family is all this and all that. And it's like, to be able to neutralize everything that comes up is just to say, that's none of my business. It doesn't matter what went on there. What matters is that I'm going to do what I want to do. And I'm going to trust myself, and I'm going to do what needs to be done for me. Right. And so also I got to say this, Donna, your version of your stories of how things happened or how things went down in life is your version. And when somebody else says to you, but, that's not how it happened. That's not the way they were. I remember what they were. You need to tell yourself, I remember my story. I remember my story, and I remember it through the eyes of whatever age I was. And I'm going to listen to that story, but I'm going to heal it. I'm going to heal it from the person I am today and not try to heal it from the person I once was. Because there's something that is deeper there that just says, So there is a deeper healing. And I feel like it's like you really got to like listen to yourself on that deeper healing, because we got broken wings. We are not going to be perfect. We're going to be so imperfect, but it's about you starting to reveal to you what you believe and what you truly see in your life. And so this is Davina, and she is forever golden. So I'm quickly going to go to the book of the everyday goddess. And I'm bringing these cards on the road, so I'll have this deck of cards with me for anyone who's coming to any of the events I'm hosting. Or to, I guess I get to be the vessel for the spirit. I'm just going wherever spirit takes me. So here's the message. Now she did come out in the upright, so she's not reverse. The last place we look to find what we seek is the place right in front of your eyes. So the last peak place that we seek, that we look to find what we seek, is the place right in front of our eyes. That's you. That which you seek is right in front of your eyes. You were just looking with wrong eyes. Knowing that you have found the treasures, don't lose it again. You are accountable for shining it up. Hi, my name is Davina, here to inspire you to not hide. It's okay to shine, and it's okay that not everyone is comfortable with your glow. But remember, some of that shine is sacred, and you aren't here to share everything with everyone. Some of that glow is to go inward and to illuminate you and heal your heart. When you open the curtains and the beautiful light shines in, do you complain that it's too bright and block the light out again? Do you push away the energies of nice, good, and kind, or feel you can't trust someone who is too nice? You know that says more about you than it does the sun, right? To be annoyed by something that is good for the soul may mean you are still denying yourself the possibility of seeing your own light. It's amazing how we believe the shadow to be our truth. So it's so easy for you it's like you can be super nice and super giving to someone else, but it's hard for you to accept that back because it feels like if it comes back to you, it's like, what is the motive behind it? So it's something about the secrets and not being able to trust. And it's like, and who can I trust? Right? Who can I trust? And you can trust when you start to listen to your intuition. I can trust me. I am my light. I am the source of change. I'm everything that I need. And it all is flipping a switch, right? It's we flip the switch, we turn the lights on. If we open the curtains and let the light in and we turn the light on, then we can start to see. Turn the light on is to have those aha moments and not to run from you and from what it is that you're truly seeking. Some things are so outdated that why do we keep it around? Why do we keep it alive? And why do we tune into the hurt and the fears and tune out to the faith and the truth, right? And so it's turn up the frequency of that which is faith, that which is love, that which is joy, that which brings you treasures, and start turning down all the other things that are always creeping in. Don't let it creep in. And that's what I have for you. And I hope that helps you in some way, Donna. All right. So I do feel like I'm running out of energy. I've been like this for days. I don't know if anyone else is. I only have limited amount of energy. And then I'm just like, I just had to look down and see if Sid was still alive, my dog, because she just stopped making noise for a minute. So I'm just doing one more that's for the collective energy, for all of us, for everyone. You're welcome, Donna. Benevolence. We have Mary. We have the beautiful Mary. And so benevolence really truly comes in when we're capable, without any judgment inside of us, to truly be happy for people, to truly be a cheerleader, to celebrate people, to be inspired by somebody else's success, to want to know more about people, to know that it's like we can say, you know what? I'm so happy for them. I got to find my own happiness. I'm really ready to find my own happiness. I'm really fully ready to let myself fully be out. And I'm ready to really, truly just turn and walk away from the things that don't bring me that happiness and that joy. And if it doesn't bring me happiness and it doesn't bring me joy, why am I doing that? And benevolence is, truly learning how to speak in a way to you that feeds yourself light and doesn't feed yourself more poison. Because the most poisonous thing that we have is our own thoughts, our own word, and the biggest enemies we have are the ones we create within ourselves. And that is where we get lost. And we get lost in that. So if we drink the poison, if it was a bottle, let's put it this way. If there was a bottle on the shelf and it said it was poisonous, do not drink it, you would think, well, I shouldn't drink that. You would know that that would be killing something. You would probably be killing you. But when other people throw poisonous thoughts and words at you, we let it in. And we don't think that it's actually killing something inside of ourselves. It's killing your dreams. It's killing your hope. It is killing your inspiration. It's killing your light. It is killing your opportunities. It's killing the things that are most important. But we don't look at it the same way because we're not creating a visual, because we only go to that part of the brain that connects to the past. And then it gives us, validates every reason to believe what is being said, what is being spoken. And we believe that then, but there's no visual. You don't have a visual, but all of that is energy. And when it comes in and it lands, it has power and it disempowers you and it takes something away. It puts like a shield, it coats over so that you can't see the light. And we lose that sense of being able to use that sense of judgment of just saying, why would I ever accept that? Why would I believe that? And it slowly just, it erodes. It erodes those pieces of you that you truly need to be able to grow, to shine, to believe in yourself. So you stop believing, you stop growing, you stop thriving, you stop doing all the things, and you fall into the victim mentality. You fall into the hurt. You fall into the pain. It's no different than someone who's a narcissist who constantly gaslights, puts those little digs in, and it takes the most beautiful, powerful people, and it makes them feel like they're not worthy, they're not enough, because eventually you believe it. It builds a new path. It runs through you a different way. Whereas when you have to stop and pause and say, why would I ever believe that to be true? That's not a truth. And when we can start to eradicate and clear out the things that we know to not to be true, now we're making space for new truth to come in. And so making space for new truth brings us to a whole new place inside of ourselves. When I started writing More Than Existing, or when I started the journey, the big part of my healing journey, I know now looking back that when my anger was speaking, because I finally was giving it a voice of love, it was just, I was looking back at a lot of things and going, why did I believe that was friends, or why did I accept that to be true? And so a lot of my vocals came out with a sense of anger, but it wasn't an anger that was projected at anyone. I was finally saying that I was hurting. I was finally saying that I was sad. I was finally speaking that truth that I was always told to suck up and get over it. But I wasn't speaking it from the self that was all the way back there. I was speaking it from the self that was here. Why? Why did I give it a voice? So that it could be neutralized. It's not that you get rid of it. It's so that you neutralize it. And when you neutralize it, it has no power. It's not growing legs. It doesn't get to take over. It's that then you can start to implement a new language. Your emotions get elevated and you find a new emotion to be able to connect to a story that actually has a deeper truth. And so it is about ownership and responsibility and accountability. We are accountable. We are responsible for who we are today. We're the ones making that choice. We're the ones making those decisions. But when you look at with compassion, but why am I making that choice? Why am I making that decision? What is it that I truly believe in that story? And so that's so big around us right now. And it's in all of the energy, and it's going to be circulating for a while. I feel like we're going to be floating around in this world of mirrors is what we're seeing. What you're seeing right now is a world of mirrors. Everything is a mirror and everything is reflecting back to you. And it's an opportunity to either become madder, angrier, to keep putting salt in the wounds, or to heal the wounds. Pick one. Keep putting salt in the wounds or heal the wounds. Which one are we going to pick? Which one sounds more pleasant? It's not going to be the easiest, but it's worth it. Because if you're going to be sitting there going, okay, drop the salt. Drop the salt in my wound. Okay, drop the salt in my wound. Okay, I'm ready. Drop the salt in my wound. You're playing a game, right? And there's a game that's being played. And so we're seeing it everywhere right now, and everything is a mirror. But if you look at it with spiritual eyes, if you look at it with your third eye, if you look at it with a higher level of consciousness than the consciousness that created it, right? A higher level of consciousness than the consciousness that created it. Go, okay, this is going to take some work. This is going to take some time. This is going to take me having to be involved. This is going to take me having to make some tough choices. This is going to take me having to face myself, look at myself, give myself, hear myself speak. I'm going to have to let this go, let this up, let this out. But it's going to be worth it in the end. Because what comes at the end? What comes at the end? That sense of being healed, that healed self. Now, if you're always going to find something else to heal, you're going to be forever healing. It's the journey of where we get to a place of contentment, not complacent, a place of where we get to making peace with all that was, and a place of being able to set ourselves free. Set yourself free of the people and the things that held you back, because they're not tied to you. You're tied to the story, right? And when you neutralize it, you can walk past somebody that you may have known, and instead of trying to make nice and smile, or instead of a negative thought coming in, you're neutralized. You walk past it as if you never ever knew them, because you don't know them. You don't know the person walking past you. You know the person who was in the situation with you, but you don't know the person that's walking past you, and you don't want to know them. So you can just move on. You just move forward. It just is, right? And you're not going to do everything right, but at least you're going to make your choices and your own decisions. Same card that I pulled for Tina, the weeping wound, right? It's all in that weeping wound story. And what does our wounds need the most? What does it need? It needs benevolence. It needs an ultimate level of compassion, kindness. Compassion's one thing, but to be kind to ourselves sometimes appears to be not very kind. You might appear to be cold. You might appear to be the asshole. You might appear to be anything. But when you finally make that choice to choose to be you, it's not because you're trying to be cold or unkind to somebody else. It's not because you're dissing somebody else. It's because you're finally listening to yourself. You're finally being that friend to yourself. You're finally doing something that is for you and that is not for everyone else. And it is emotional energy, right? And so it's the emotional energy that ties us. Now I'm going to go to the bottom of the deck. Temptation, right? We're so tempted to break away from our divine or break away from ourselves that we leave ourselves to go to somebody else's story. We abandon the best parts of ourselves to exist in somebody else's life. When we become partners with somebody, when you get married, it's like, oh, well, now it's everything is about the marriage, but it's not all about the marriage. It's not about the other person. It's still about you. And it's still about you having an individual identity. It's still about you having your own voice, being your own person. You become a mother, that's a role. That's a role you play. There's still a person there. And if you forget the person who's in that role, then that person fades and that person gets lost. And that person then only exists through the children, through the family. And then when they go on living their lives, when everyone else is living their lives, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Right? And so it's so important now that we really recognize in this world of mirrors of how easily it is to get lost in everything that's happening, but to really truly begin to find ourselves, you're not even going to recognize that self because we believe the character that we create, right? And so emotional intelligence requires tapping into a new vocabulary, a new language to be able to speak to ourselves in a new way. And so that we don't get lost and we remember our deep connection on a soul level, on a spiritual level. We remember who we are. And so when judgment comes, you don't believe the judgment. You don't quickly fall to the judgment. You remember who you are. You remember who you are. I know that's not true because I know who I am. I know who I am. I know my level of my integrity. I know my level of honesty. I know my level of truth. And so I know that to be absolutely not true. Right. And that's pretty much where we are today. That's where we are in a lot of this energy. That's where we are with everything that's going on, everything that's happening. And yeah, we can't turn a blind eye anymore. We can't turn a blind eye to the world, and we can't turn a blind eye to our own self, and to that self that is just craving and crying out for us to embrace it, to embody it, whatever that is for you, whatever it looks like, whatever that looks like. So when I teach more than existing, when I teach the more than existing program, is what I teach in there. And that's not metaphysical. That's all in my coaching stuff until like level 4. Then we blend it a little bit. But what I teach is for people to be able to trust themselves enough to be able to think for themselves and to be able to live their own life. Self-actualization, self-realization. You start to realize that you have value. You start to look at yourself. You start to hear yourself. You start to look at what you believed. You start to look at those values. You start to look at, why is it that when our lives are in turmoil, when we're not happy, we attach the word, and now this is not medical. This is metaphysical. This is spiritual depression, right? Why is it that when we're very unhappy and we're hurting and we're in pain in a situation or in life, instead of healing and dealing and changing the situation, changing our environment, we numb something inside of ourselves so that we can stay in the same environment? And that's where the like, if we really truly be honest with ourselves and look at it, it's like, why are we so spiritually depressed? Why are we so spiritually oppressed? Look at our history. Look at the environment. You take a saltwater fish and put it in fresh water. Can it live? No. Why? Because it's not its environment. It will kill it. It will die. So the same thing happens with us. And so your environment matters. Your environment matters big time to you, to your life. And it's up to you to create that environment. Doesn't mean that all the rest of the environments are not going to exist. Yeah. But your time spent in those environments will be minimal, because you're always coming back to your environment. Here, it's what you do inside of yourself, what you believe inside of yourself, what you hold inside of yourself, that really matters. That's what we got for you today. I hope in some way that this inspires you. I hope in some way that this helps you. And so have a beautiful weekend. If you're in Newfoundland, and you're coming to one of my events, all of the events that I'm hosting, except for one, is all a group reading. So it's me being the channel for spirit to come through and communicate to your loved ones, to those on the other side. I have chosen locations based on what my intuition told me, and I trusted those locations. So the St. John's location that I chose, I'm doing 2 nights because it can only hold. It's a very small area, and it can only hold a limited amount of people. So I'm doing 2 nights in St. John's, and then the 1 night in Gander and 1 night in Corner Brook, and then I have 2 events happening in Grand Falls. So in Grand Falls, Windsor, not just Grand Falls, Windsor. In Grand Falls, Windsor, on the Saturday, the 20th of October, is the group reading. It's when I'm connecting to spirit. On the next day, on the 20th, in the daytime, from 11 to 4, I'm hosting a workshop. So you get to hear a whole lot of this conversation that I have here of speaking about all of these things, plus mindfulness, plus meditations, plus, ways that you can use tools that I can give you in that period of time that can help you, guide you, that can be there for you. So that's on the 20th, and that's going to be in Grand Falls. So I'm looking forward to that one. And what else? And then on November the 9th, I'm in Lacombe, and I'm teaching an intuition workshop in Lacombe. Now, someone did message me and ask if it's for beginners, it's for intermediate, it's for anyone. I always teach from a beginner mind. I always say, if you're come in with a beginner mind, because you never know what you're going to learn. And I honor each and every person's level of where they are. And your spirit knows more than you think you know. And I always tell people that your spirit knows more than you think you know. Your spirit, your soul knows more than you think you know. It's the thing that has been pressuring you to do the things that you're afraid to do. And so, yeah, that's going to be happening in Lacombe on the 9th. And yeah, and everything else is on my website. Go check out the website. You can purchase the cards there. I will be bringing books and cards to Newfoundland to sell while at the events. And yeah, my cards are available on my website as well if you want to purchase those. All my schedule is up for November, so you can book your one-on-one appointments with me. And also there is the emailed card readings that you can purchase as well. So you can purchase a 2, 3, or 5 card reading that will be delivered through email to you. It's a video format. And that's sent out to you usually within 48 hours after you purchase it, unless I'm on the road or something, but that's the usual time. That's what I got. I send you so much love. Thank you for being here with me. And thank you to those who chose to do the 3 card readings. And yeah, I hope someone got something out of this today for you. Much love. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.